This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Let's go!
Sky Yuma.
Snapback, spot down. The kick is blocked. This could be 2 points if he goes all the way. He's to midfield. Nobody to beat. This will be 2 for Minnesota. Miller-Moss with a handoff and another big gain, and the ball popped loose, and it's still fumbling back there, and it is maybe picked up. Let's see who has it. Minnesota!
Welcome to Gopher Football Weekly with PJ Fleck on the Gopher Sports Network from Learfield.
To the 10, to the 5, touchdown, pick 6.
Gopher Football Weekly with PJ Fleck is presented by True North Family of Companies. Visit thetruenorthfamily.com. Also brought to you by Cub, the official grocer of Gopher Athletics. And by Tipsy Steer and High Pines, located at County Road C in Snelling. Proud sponsor of Gopher football.
Here we go!
Now, here's the voice of the Gophers, Mike Grimm.
Off and running, another edition of Gopher Football Weekly with PJ Fleck. The Minnesota Golden Gophers are 4-2 overall, 2-1 in the Big Ten. A big win on homecoming this past Saturday, and then a Friday night primetime under the lights game upcoming with the 25th ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers. So an exciting time here on the U of M campus, and that's where we find ourselves for this week's edition of the show. Back to the Tipsy Steer and High Pines next week. Justin Guard, as always, great to see you.
Great to be here. Great to be here. Halfway through the season.
I can't believe it.
Time flies.
6 games in.
Time flies.
How does the head coach PJ Fleck feel?
One game at a time.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not sure if it's flying by. That's for sure. You know, when you're kind of in it, and I don't know if it's flying by. Even though I can't tell you what day it is.
Yeah.
No, we don't know.
Yeah, it feels like Tuesday, but it's really a Wednesday for you guys.
Who knows? We're just going to say it's game week.
Yeah, because we know it's a Friday kickoff, and it has been one of those weird schedules. Lots of night games, a West Coast trip, a Thursday game. One Friday game this week, another Friday game later on. You play at a baseball field later on. I mean, there's a lot of curveballs to keep the baseball vernacular.
Wow, very nice.
But how do you manage that schedule? I know you probably started looking at it in July in terms of all the different scenarios that it presents.
Yeah, Garrett Chernoff, our GM, does a really good job looking at all these things in the offseason, whether it's travel, working with our operations team and his team, or just looking at the weekly schedules of what's to come. You really don't know when you play, and for a little bit later on when they actually make the schedules and what days you're going to play. But coming from the Mid-American Conference, I mean, I was involved in MAC. You'd play on 4-day weeks, 9-day weeks, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. You're dealing with class. You're dealing with buses. You're dealing with 7-hour bus road trips and getting guys back for class. And you've kind of done it all. So I'm not saying that we've used all of that, because I think every team is a little bit different. You're making those decisions based on the health and well-being of all your players. You're making it based on schedules of schools and their class schedules, but you're also making the schedule based on the exact team that you have and what's best for them. How healthy are we? What do we need to do to make this the week really pay off come Friday night? And this is no different. I mean, every week is is different from the other. Doesn't mean they can't be similar to what you've done in the past, but you're making it for this particular team.
And we'll talk about Purdue and that nice win on Saturday, but just a quick follow-up with the Friday game. I know nationally there's always concern, well, that's a high school football Friday night, and you're taking that away. But in Minnesota this week, the nice thing is there is no high school football Friday, so you'll get center spotlight and really not infringe on the high school prep scene.
That was the whole point.
Yeah.
That was perfect. It worked out really well. But yeah, I mean, I think, Fridays have always been in our minds for high school football, just in general, the way we're all raised, and Saturday college and Sunday NFL. But you look at every day of the week, once we start getting towards November, I mean, there's football on Tuesdays. You got Major League Baseball playoffs right now every night. You got basketball starting up with the NBA and college basketball. So I think with the TV contracts, and that's all changed. I mean, our traditionalist of the way we look at it is Friday high school, Saturday college, and NFL Sunday. But I think in the reality, it's any time that the TV can get you on there and you can get exposure for the conference and the school, you do it. And I really like these Friday setups. I really do. I think it helps you on the back end for the next week. You got to kind of sacrifice the week going into it. But when you look at that schedule, everybody's got something to sacrifice somehow, some way when you have an 18-team schedule that you're going coast to coast with.
And everybody Friday night that's a college football fan is going to be watching the Golden Gophers and the Cornhuskers.
How fun is that?
Yeah.
That's perfect. We love that.
Going back to Saturday, did you learn about your team and how they came back, or did it kind kind of confirm what you already thought or things that you already knew about them?
I think it verified and confirmed the type of people they are. The courageous comeback and you're never out of it. The resolve and the resiliency that we've seen the entire year. And you've asked me the whole year. I mean, I've told you I really like this football team because they're fun to coach. They're resilient. They like to get better. They grow. They're connected. It's really hard to find, I think, a really connected football team in 2025. That doesn't promise you to win, but it gives you a really good chance when things don't go your way to respond. It's not just, does it give you the best chance to win when you come off a really tough loss. And Ohio State was tough. I mean, we got beat. And then you have to get them back and get them to respond. One, that's a coaching responsibility. Two, that's a player responsibility. And there's a lot of people who can't recover over a really hard loss. And you see that throughout the entire country. That is not natural. And so you have to find a way to get everybody to buy into that. And from a player standpoint and a coaching standpoint, and it's very difficult. I'm not saying we have the magic sauce to do that, but I'd like to think we have the best chance to do it. And then you're still dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds. And, I think our guys have responded very well, coming off the win at Rutgers, going to Ohio State, coming back, responding with Purdue. Coming off the loss to Cal, going into Rutgers, going into a bye week, actually. You never know when you have that much time.
Right.
So, again, the team's exactly what we thought we would be, character-wise. But it's nice to verify that when you have real game experience to prove that.
And you made, for the second time in your last two home games, both these home games, what I would call winning plays, right? When it came crunch time, you had guys that made winning plays. And how encouraging and how rewarding is that to see guys you're coaching be good in clutch time?
Yeah, I think that was the difference in the game, is that our best players made huge plays in huge moments. We talk about you have to have attention to detail within the fundamentals. That's where we have to get better at the most. Then you're going to plug it into the scheme that you have. As coaches, we got to get better at that as we keep going forward. We have 6 games of data, really 4 Power 4 games of data of what our team's really good at and what we aren't good at. Now, 2 of the games we've been down so early, so quickly, that it changed the way we called the game offensively and defensively to get us back in the game. So we've got 6 games of data. Excuse me. We know where we need to be. We feel really good about the second half of the schedule of how we have to adapt that. But you got the attention to detail. You plug it into the scheme. But then the biggest part is, can you do it under the pressure of the situation? Can you do it in the game? Can you do it when it counts the most? Can you do it when it's the highest pressure situation? And I thought our players showed they could do that over the last few weeks. And I thought they showed that this past week. And if it wasn't for those big plays by those big players and those big moments, we wouldn't have won the game. And then if you attach that to the 4-1 turnover battle, that's how we won the game. You look at the stat sheet, you pull the turnovers out of there, right? We weren't penalized a lot. They were penalized 9 times. We were penalized 3, which is how we're going to have to win these close games. But if you take the ball away from there, you kind of look at the stat sheet, like Purdue must have won that game. But then when you throw in the playmakers part and you throw in the penalty piece and the ball, hey, that's how you win games.
As you look at that, as you mentioned, I think is a couple 100 yards difference. They had 8 more first downs. One of the stats that popped out, they were 5 trips to the red zone. You were 2, but you had 2 touchdowns in the 2 trips. They had 2 touchdowns and 5 trips and an interception and some other things, and that results in a win. Then when you get a pick 6 mixed in,
there you go. I think that's the difference in the game right there. So it's not just a pick 6; it's Kerry Brown's interception, which takes points off the board. We're good when we're taking the ball away. When we can maximize our opportunities on offense. We have, a freshman quarterback. We got one of our best receivers is a freshman. We got a freshman up front. And these guys are developing. Some of our best playmakers are really young, and they're coming into their own. They're not a finished product, and they've got to keep getting better. But we've got to get them better at the things we got to get better at now and make sure that they improve. And so they can go out there and make the plays that maybe we're not making at times. We've got to be better in the contested catches piece, and we got to be better in the wide receiver position, and that falls on me. But it's the attention to detail that allow you to get open, that allow you to go make the play within the technique and fundamentals that you're coached to do, to make that explosive play and be the playmaker you can do or can be, and maximize your opportunity and your percentages of making those plays.
A lot of individual plays to talk about. One we probably haven't spent enough time on is Drake's scramble on the 4th and 2, I think, coming out of a timeout.
You mean our running quarterback?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Give me your inner monologue as that whole play is going on, and he's got to make this guy miss and get to the corner.
I don't know if it was a monologue. I think it was just holding my breath.
Yeah.
Heather asked me a question the other day. We were watching some show, we don't watch much TV, but there's this like a special forces show, and the reason I watch is because Decker's on it.
Eric
Decker, and his wife, and so they're on the special force thing, and they kind of go in this and kind of hold their breath. They strap them in this like airplane and submerge it underwater, and you got to hold it for 20 seconds, and then undo your buckle and go out the right door. So they're training you in these like Navy SEALs and Army Rangers type thing. Anyway, I'm getting off on a side note because you definitely asked me. It was more about like holding my breath. Right. You know, and Heather asked me, how long can you hold your breath? I'm like, that's a great question. What is she trying to get at?
As long as you need to.
You know, just you want me to hold my breath, pass out? But I have no idea how long I hold my breath. But those are the hold your breath plays that you're like, and they're like, oh, great job. So your heart almost skips a beat. You hold your breath. But when He's not a running quarterback, as we all know. But when he starts to move, he must see something if he's going to go take it. And I think he does have very good vision of feel of the pocket for a young player and knows when he can go extend a play and when he can't.
That was not a designed run, but it was an option out of the play.
That was not a design run, as much as we'd like to take credit for that. That was not a designed run. That was a play-action pass that they did a really good job covering. But I thought he was going to come out the front side. If you look at the play, I mean, his eyes are naturally on the right side, and there's a huge hole on the right side. I thought he was going to come out the right side. That was probably the easier way. He went on the other side, and there was a defender standing there, and we actually stopped it in our team meeting the other day, and I said, all right, A, we get the first down. B, we get tackled for a 4-yard loss. C, something catastrophic happens. I said, if I stop the picture right here, what do you think happens? And, of course, they're all laughing, you know. And I said, but the common person, by looking at this still photo, would say B or C. They wouldn't have thought the first down. And he makes a quick move and freezes the defender's feet. The ball. And
that ball fake is great.
And then, you know, he was out of there faster than he is. I mean, it looked really natural. And if we can get that big body moving here and there, and he can have confidence taking what the defense gives him, he can make that part of his game. That's for sure.
You mentioned Kerry Brown's interception. We probably underestimate just how good of a play to dive flat out like Byron Buxton would be flying for a ball in the gap in center field or right center field. And one, not to knock it down, just to make it an incomplete, but to get possession of that thing, that's an unbelievably athletic play.
I don't know if you watched the MLB playoffs. And again, I get bits and pieces of things. You know what I mean? I have something on the background, and at night, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he dove for home plate or slid at home plate the other day. Here's a huge man jumping, diving, hitting his stomach, and it looks like a second baseman doing it. Yeah. And you really have a lot of appreciation for the athletes that they are. Kerry Brown, same way. Everybody talks about Coy's interception, which rightfully so. The way it was caught, the type of ball that was thrown, what we needed to steal each week or going into that week was we're going to have to take some of those RPOs and pick it off or knock it down. And to make the play he did was outstanding. But Kerry Brown's interception, I mean, it doesn't get lost because people remember it, but that took points off the board. Yep. And that was just as critical of putting points on the board as Coy's interception was. But what a play by Kerry. And Kerry is a very instinctual player. He can play every position in the secondary. Very selfless. He's a quiet young man that just loves to play football and works his tail end off. So it's nice to see guys get the reward for all their hard work like Kerry.
Well, we'll have more on that. There's so many. We got a long list of stuff to talk about. A big win, 27-20. The Gophers get to 4-2 on the season. We'll take our first break here. We'll come back and we'll have more. We also want to thank alumni-owned Sunbelt Business Advisors, part of the True North family of companies. They should be on your team roster if you're selling a business. Get your no-cost, confidential business valuation today. Visit sunbeltminnesota.com. We're on campus today. It's Gopher Football Weekly with PJ Fleck from Learfield.
Dear crew, it's Toyota. With an adult-sized third row, everyone's welcome in the Grand Highlander. From sports fans to eco-buffs and movie fans. Sink back in the Sienna with an available rear seat entertainment system. Slip into the RAV4 with available all-wheel drive. And let's go. Toyota. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Golden Gopher football hosts Nebraska under the lights this Friday night. Row with us at 7 o'clock and back the maroon and gold against the Huskers. For tickets and more information, go to gophersports.com.
Spring cleaning is as easy as buy, fill, gone with a Bagster bag from Waste Management. Clear the clutter and ditch your debris. Bagster bags are the flexible option for big cleanups, and we mean flexible. The Bagster folds neatly when not in use, yet holds 3,000 pounds of waste and debris. Buy from a retailer today, fill it, and easily schedule pickup when your projects are complete. To learn more, visit thebagster.com. You want the best for your child. So does M Health Fairview Masonic Children's Hospital. As the Twin Cities' longest-running, top-ranked children's hospital, many of the world's leading medical experts just happen to come with the most caring hearts. This combination of passion and expertise is why Masonic Children's Hospital was once again recognized as the Twin Cities' top-ranked children's hospital by U.S. News & World Report. Right off 94 near the West Bank of the University of Minnesota. Learn more at mhealthfairview.com.
Are you looking for concert or sports tickets? As a local Minnesota company, Ticket King is a company you can trust. They have seats to fit every budget and even offer parking or tailgating passes, and all tickets are guaranteed. Each order is personally attended to by one of our dedicated customer service representatives who are committed to providing you with a courteous, professional, quick, convenient experience. Visit us at TicketKingOnline.com or call us directly at 612-341-4131.
Gopher fans, when you want to get around Gold Country safely, securely, and on time, call Carey Minneapolis St. Paul. Carey Limousines, a global leader in business travel, offering a world-class fleet and reservation staff who make sure you arrive on time, every time. The team's available 24/7, so give them a call whenever you're ready to travel. 612-623-0565 or visit the webpage, CareyMPLS.com. And go Gophers!
I'm Clay Geary, former wide receiver for the Minnesota Gophers.
And I'm Ben Utek, U of M alumni, Super Bowl champion, and Tony Dungy Uncommon Award winner.
We understand championship culture, which is why we are part of the True North family of companies.
True North invests in only elite teams, like the champion team at True North Mergers and Acquisitions, Minnesota's largest seller of companies. To learn more about True North and our diverse family of independently owned companies, visit thetruenorthfamily.com.
Gopher fans, check out the spot for Gopher Weekly with PJ Fleck. The Tipsy Steer in High Pines in Roseville is a great place to watch the games with a large outdoor space to eat, drink, and hang out with your friends. Check this place out. Locally owned refreshing beverages and food sourced from area farmers, serving on menu favorites like bacon lollipops and armadillo eggs. The sassy menu also features brick oven pizzas and acclaimed burgers. Tipsy Steer in High Pines in Roseville, County Road C in Snelling in Roseville, or online at tipsysteer.com. Go Gophers!
The game against Rutgers on September 27th recognized the 13th annual Celebrate Ag and Food Day at Huntington Bank Stadium. Both the game broadcast and the presentation inside the stadium celebrated the tireless efforts in the agriculture industry. Gopher fans, we can all be proud of the continued efforts, results, and the talented people that work in these industries to provide a sustainable food supply with so many changing variables. The Gophers would like to thank the presenting sponsors of this event: CHS, Compeer Financial, Undeniably Dairy, and Bex.
Gopher football takes on the Michigan State Spartans on Saturday, November 1st. Get your tickets now at gophersports.com.
No matter who you are or what you do, there's a Ford vehicle that can help you own the day. Make life on the go feel like a breeze in the new Ford Explorer. Make tough tasks look easy with the powerful performance of a new built Ford Tough F-Series truck, the best-selling trucks in America for 48 years. Or take your adventures in the great outdoors to a whole new level with our built wild family of Ford Broncos. Whether it's for work or play, there's a Ford with a great deal waiting for you at your local Northland Ford dealers. Don't wait. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford today, based on calendar year total sales.
It's time now for the AVR Remix on Gopher Football Weekly with PJ Fleck. AVR, a McNamara company. Quality and service delivered.
Maccabee on the handoff. He wants to throw now toward the end zone, and it is intercepted. Yes, Kerry Brown at the 1-yard line, diving in front of the intended target, Smith. Brown go. Mockabee next to Brown. And Brown wants to throw it. It's intercepted. Parrish down the sideline to the 10. 5. Touchdown! Minnesota Golden Gophers!
There it is, Coy Parrish. John Nestor. Well,
that was a good call by you.
It was great.
Heather said that the other day.
Is that right?
I only get like the tidbits.
Yeah.
I get to hear your voice almost every day, right? But I don't get to hear you call the game.
Yeah.
And Heather said that the other day. She said like how good of a color commentary guy you are.
Yeah.
I know you got that compliment at our show the other day with who was it? The Ohio State people came up to you.
Yeah, somebody said
at our show and said you got a compliment. Grimmy got a compliment from the Ohio State people saying your color guy is awesome. And I agree, but Heather said that the same way. She just said that he's so good.
Oh, man. Well,
you either have that or you don't.
It's an easy job, though, when those kind of plays get made, and it's fun. And that was fun to call. And all three of those plays, I mentioned in the highlight live that the Nestor pick reminded me of Rutgers. You guys were down 14-0. Then you make a nice drive and score. And then Kerry Brown gets the interception, and you score again, and it goes from 14-0 to 14-14. And then you're down 10-0. You get a nice drive, get a touchdown. Nestor gets the interception. You kick a field goal. And it's 10-10 in no time. Like I think the Rutgers game, those touchdowns were like a minute apart. And then you do it again in the second half, seven seconds apart.
Yeah.
10
seconds apart, you get 14 points.
You guys are like basketball, score in spurts.
Why is everybody so worried?
You've got it.
I mean,
you've got the plan.
If you said that and it is true, then why is everybody worried?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. I wasn't worried all the time. Listen, those are things that are happening this year. It'll all work itself out.
How it's working.
You've got the accelerate. You've got the accelerate in the middle and finish strong down.
Yeah,
jeez.
The starting fast we're working on. Is that fair?
Yeah, we did it earlier. I mean, we did start fast against Northwestern State. Like I was as fast as
that was
start.
Yeah, I mean, you had your starting quarterback out in about 4 minutes.
Yeah, 9 plays in, we were done for the starters. So again, it's college football. I mean, you look at. You watched last night's game was on in the background, and Detroit had a tough time moving the ball and scoring points. And football's hard. Garrett always tells me it's a zero-sum game, and that's his number one quote back to me: a zero-sum game, and somebody has to win, somebody has to lose, somebody has to move the ball, somebody has to stop the ball. It is what it is. That's why I'm really proud of our players finding a way to win. Having the resolve and the courage, tenacity, connection, belief to go do it. And it's a fun team to coach. And I'm really proud of them for that.
I have a question relating to that. It is 100%, particularly at this level. It's a zero-sum game. You win or lose, right? At the end of the day, and that's what ultimately you're judged on. I saw a tweet from Kurt Warner over the weekend, and coaching's coaching. He was talking about coaching his kids in high school, and that a big challenge for him was trying not to coach on the result of the play or the result of the game, and more on the process. Like, did the quarterback read it right? Did he, maybe he threw in the right spot. It was intercepted because a kid just made a great play. In a game like this, where you even mentioned really at the start of the show, if you look at the stat sheet, it's a hard game to win. So how do you handle that where the end result is exactly what you want? You want to win, but there were some areas certainly I think where you improve on. So is that a challenge to reward the kids, but also make sure that, you judge them not just based on the result of the win?
Yeah, two things. On Sunday, you can't tell whether we won or lost.
Yeah.
We coach specifically on how the game played out, right? What are we good at? What aren't we good at? What does the film say? We completely take the result out of it. There are days we win, and you walk in here, and it is like, we didn't deserve to win. That is really bad. That's just bad defense. That's not good offense. That's just good offense. And that's bad defense, vice versa. And so you're truly peeling back the onion and not letting the result affect the improvement of the incremental spots that you have to keep getting better at. And that's why we talk about the attention to detail. You plug it into the scheme, and then you have to be able to do that under the pressure of the situation. And if you peel back that onion, it all starts with the attention to detail within the fundamental. If we don't get better at the fundamentals and techniques, it doesn't matter what scheme we have. But our attention to detail tell us what the scheme can be and what we can and cannot do. And then can we do that under the pressure of the situation is the result from the game, whether we can or cannot make that play. So you can't tell on Sunday. I thought it was really interesting. My 15-year-old plays baseball, and Josh Donaldson used to be our neighbor, who used to play for the Minnesota Twins and the Toronto Blue Jays. And and he was an all-star. And I remember that I asked him, do you have any advice for my kid? And away from covering up the umpire's feet with dirt and home plate and
getting kicked out on a home run,
yelling at the other team constantly.
It was so, I still talk to Josh to this day, but it was so fun because we'd play in the front yard. My son would hit a home run and do what Josh did. And I was like, whoa. He's our neighbor and he's watching him on TV. He's having way too much of an influence.
I remember
on
that one in the White Sox. He hits the home run and then gets kicked out as he's touching home plate.
By the time he got home.
Yeah. He drove a line or something. I can't remember.
That's not the point. The point is Josh said the best advice I can give him is that baseball is designed, there are 9 people on that field to make sure that you don't get a hit. And all I focused on when I was hitting my best was putting a good bat to the ball and making really good contact. And if I was trying to hit the ball to the opposite field, did I do that? He goes, if they made a great catch, they made a great catch. If he made a great pitch and I had a really good at bat, fouled a bunch off, battled, but hey, he got me on that. But all I did was try to make great contact, and I could go 0 for 30. But if I hit that ball contact for 30 times, I didn't look at it as failing. I didn't look at it as a failure. I looked at it as failing where I'm going to keep growing. I just have to stay consistent because I am putting good bat to the ball, and it's a really good at bat. There's times I got struck out, but there were 13 pitches that I got off the pitcher, and that was a really good at bat. So I think when you're talking about 300 to put you in the Hall of Fame, 3 out of 10, it was great advice that I could give my son Carter about baseball that actually is the same way we're doing it at a football level, just doing it with way more players on the field and a way different game. But you're doing that type of mentality of focusing on the process of growing and getting better from the result that's actually on the film. That is the data to respond from.
What other great role models do you have for your kids? I'm trying to think on the fly who else they have posters of in their room. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We talked after the game, PJ. You talked about you got to find a way to get the running game going. You obviously didn't run the ball like you wanted to on Saturday, and really went away from it. After maybe the first carry of the third quarter. So as you've looked at that, what have the issues and challenges been there?
Well, I think you hit it right on the head. I mean, we've been able to get away from it faster than maybe we wanted to in terms of the game plan. We always want to be balanced, but the way that we talk about balance is do you do and can you do what it takes to win that particular football game based on the data that you have. When you're down 14-0 pretty quick, offensively, defensively, special teams, you're assuming that, you want it to change, but this is the kind of game it's going to be. You have to alter what you're going to do, and I think we've been forced into that a few times. Ohio State, I thought we had some good balance, but we threw the ball. We were throwing the ball to run the ball. We had really good balance to that. Next thing you know, we're down 21-3, and that changes too. So it's one of those things that, we want to be who we are, and but we're also not afraid to do what it's going to take to win the football game, and our guys have showed they could do that. And we have some other strengths on our team too that maybe we haven't had in the past.
You mentioned the injuries in the defensive backfield. Bingo McMillan, I guess, is his nickname, and he had he had an impact in the game. He had been kind of I would say, reserve nickel, getting some time in, and all of a sudden with injuries, hey, go play cornerback. And he was pretty darn good in the game when he got you said 30 reps, I think?
Yeah, he got 30-plus reps at corner, played nickel. He can play safety. He's very versatile. This is the depth that we talked about we were going to have in that secondary. And we don't have it everywhere, but we definitely have it there. And unfortunately, we've been banged up back there. So he's had to step in. Selfless player, great teammate, courageous kid, played a lot of football, whether that was TCU or here, done a lot of really good things, and stepped in and made a huge play in a huge moment in cover zero to really not end the game, but put us in a position that gave us the best chance to win that game that almost ran out the clock.
Yeah, and he knows that the ball's probably going there, right? I mean, if that's the situation, and we talked a little bit about it after the game, but the decision to basically just heat him up and say, we're coming at you after this timeout. Take us through kind of how that whole decision-making gets made.
Well, we felt we have a quick decision, but we felt like the way the game had gone from the 7-yard line and in, we felt like if we allow Brown to be back there and just pick us apart, the way that they've run the football, the way that he's scrambled, and the way that their wideouts could catch it and create space, we felt like we were to stay on our heels. If they were going to beat us, we're going to force him to beat us, and the ball was going to come out of his hand. So when you don't, you have the option of running the football, right? You have the option of him running the football, and then you have the option of him throwing the football. When we heated him up, it was the ball. We knew the ball was going to come out, and we needed to cover those 4 people and cover them really tightly and make a play on the ball, but we knew the ball would come out. And that was the decision to play cover 0 and get that, to force their hand into something that they're good at. But we knew what would be coming. We didn't know what route, but we knew that would be coming, and our guys made a great play.
Yeah, that's just how you coach it, right? Get the inside hand up and knock it away.
That's how you coach it.
Yeah.
That's how you coach it.
Nothing to it. All right, let's take another break. We'll come back. We'll have more. We'll preview Nebraska Friday night football. 7 o'clock is the kickoff. We'll have the pregame show at 5. We invite you also to visit the University of Minnesota bookstore for the area's largest selection of U of M and Golden Gopher apparel, gifts, and novelties for fans of all ages. From the latest styles to timeless favorites, it is your one-stop shop. Every purchase directly supports the University of Minnesota. Shop in-store here on campus or online at bookstores.umn.edu. Reminder, we will be back at the Tipsy Steer in High Pines next week, our normal time, noon on Tuesday. We invite you back for that. But more to talk yet this week. Stay with us. It's Gopher Football Weekly with PJ Fleck from Learfield. Get your Chick-fil-A app ready during this week's Gopher football game. One lucky fan will attempt a field goal in the Kickin' for Chicken Challenge. Say that 3 times fast.
Careful.
And regardless of the kick, all Gopher fans win. And remember, it's a Friday game, so this week you cash in on Saturday this week for either waffle fries or a Chick-fil-A sandwich, depending on how the hero kicks during the game. Waffle fries on Monday this week. So anyway, Saturday this week.
Thanks for the events calendar.
Yes, here
I have
we go.
No questions, no follow-ups.
You've got it
locked in.
We've got it for sure. Let's talk about the Nebraska Cornhuskers here. We got a couple of segments left. Guardsy gets to stay for the show. That's the one benefit of the on-campus deal. He's already found his parking spot, Lovely. Nebraska, they are now ranked 25th in the country, 5-1. What can you tell us about the Cornhuskers?
Yeah, somebody asked me a question today. Are they finding themselves? I said, I think they found themselves. They're really, really good. They're really deep. They're really athletic. Defensively, they throw a lot at you, different fronts, different blitzes. They're blitzing about half the time. But they have athletes everywhere, really long, good-looking athletes, man, and they play really, really hard, tackling very well. And I think that's a tribute to their coaching staff. On the offensive side of the ball, I think Rail is playing at the highest level he's played at. And I think he's becoming a really, really good passer. Not that he wasn't before. I just think he's throwing the ball. Some people look at him as like a dual threat, but he is. But he's throwing the ball for 75% completion percentage plus, and he's making really decisive decisions, and the ball placement, the ball shape is better than it's ever been. And not that it was poor before, it was very good. And he's just sharpening his arrow because it's getting better and better. And then he's running when he has to run. He's not just running to be a runner. He's running when he has to run, and he's being very efficient with it. So I think everything starts with him. They got a really big offensive line who's really physical. They got really physical backs who play well, and they've got 3 receivers, I think, that can really go. I mean, go. And they're helping Raiola too, because they're throwing short passes and they're taking them a long ways. They're very explosive on offense. One of the best offenses statistically in the country too. So they're a ranked team coming in on Friday night, and rightfully so. And we've got a great challenge and a great opportunity ahead of us.
Matt Rule and you pretty tight, right? He seems like a good dude. I know we're supposed to hate everybody, but he seems like a pretty solid guy.
He's a wonderful person. He's an incredible human being. He's really, really intelligent and a lot of fun to be around. I think sometimes, people look at us as coaches and they see us on game day, but, our wives get together and they know each other well. We're at so many different events together as head coaches and families, or wives at least. And I know Heather and Julie have known each other for a while, and got a chance to be at, the Kenny Chesney concert, along with Coach Rule this past summer at the Sphere in Vegas, which was cool. And Coach Mullen, who was at UNLV. And it was really amazing. Got a chance to meet, Mr. Kenny himself, which was really cool. So it was really just a special time to kind of let your hair down. I don't have any hair, but it was just it's cool to see people outside of their coaching responsibilities, because we're all going through a lot of the same different things and have a lot of the same challenges and same opportunities and have a lot of fun. But when you're off the field, we see each other in so many events, so it's good to see people as people. But he's a great dude, man. He really is. And he talked a little bit in the summer about maybe getting together and doing a breast cancer awareness game. And I know breast cancer has affected his life and his family to its core. And same with our own family and our friends, and I think everybody's been affected by breast cancer somehow, some way, and that's just the type of guy he is. He sees the global picture of college athletics and our platform as coaches, and so this game's going to be about that too. So our team's involved, his team's involved, our coaches are involved, and just shows the type of person he is, that he can see the global picture and of what life's really about too.
Are you a guy that sings the lyrics to the songs that you know at a concert? Is Coach Rule one of those guys? Or do you guys just let the performer perform? That's the follow-up I had to ask.
First of all, when you're in the sphere, I don't think you don't even look at the stage.
Right.
You're immersed in this experience that is really unbelievable, and it's so loud in there that I think even if you are singing,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I think we all think we're a rock star when we're at a concert or a country music star, and we all have good voices. Can't say that we weren't singing some songs, that's for sure.
So
it's Kenny Chesney. Everybody knows Kenny Chesney songs for the most part, except Garrett.
Yeah, you get a couple. Everybody knows a few. He's one of those guys.
Garrett knows the ones I play over and over, so he knows them once in a while.
On repeat. So I have a follow-up as well on that. So how do you organize that? Does Matt Rule text PJ Fleck and say, hey, I got some tickets? Or do you say, hey, I got tickets? Or does Dan Mullen say, I'm in Vegas, you guys want to come out? How does that get organized?
We went down there. We actually it was during camp season, so you're kind of all over these places for camp season. So we went to UNLV's camp, and Coach Mullen allowed us to come in there because we've had a lot of success on that, the Southwest, and get some California kids to come over to the camps. Right? Jordan Howden, get some kids to come over to that Vegas camp, and it's easier for them, and sometimes they come all the way to Minnesota. So getting ourselves at different places is critical. And so we were there, and it was kind of a little bit impromptu. It was more of like Coach Mullen and I hang out, hey, what are you doing tonight? Man, nothing. You want to go to the Chesney concert? Are you serious? Yeah, okay, Rules are going to be in town too. Boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, Mullen is like the greatest orchestrator of fun. He is. He's an orchestrator of fun, man. He really is. So he can connect a lot of people really quick. And within a few hours, we had some tickets and got a chance to meet him too, which was he was incredibly gracious.
So, did Mullen organize the meeting, or did you just text Kenny and say, "Hey, we're coming down"?
No, I didn't text Kenny. No, I'm not. Coach Mullen knows him, right?
Yeah.
I think he worked out there at UNLV's facility when he was actually there. They're friends, so no. I mean, I got the manager, of Kenny Chesney, and got all the things from him, and then no, I did not have that. I had Coach Mullen's number, and Coach Rule's number. Other than that, I was just showing up for a good time. That's it.
That sounds like
Heather and I were fired up.
Yeah, that sounds like a very good.
It was
time.
Great. It was
it's ironic that you would that these coaches would be in Vegas for camps, that they'd set up camps in Vegas.
I know,
and that PJ would go.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Bishop Gorman High School, we love it there. Yeah, you gotta go where you find the players.
Yeah, exactly.
It just happens that it's one of your favorite cities in the world.
There's never a camp in Winnipeg.
Well, there probably is.
There might be. Yeah, that's true. If you were a hockey coach, Motzko's been to Winnipeg, probably. Yeah, the North Dakota.
A Kenny Chesney cover band at a bar in Winnipeg. That's been how he rolls.
Yeah, wearing the Canadian tuxedo up there for sure.
The great thing is there's always something anywhere you go.
Yeah.
And I think that's the fun part about recruiting and travel and going places is that you can find something somewhere if you want to do that. Like if you have a free night or a free few hours, you can find something to do. That's for sure.
For sure. All right, let's take
in Winnipeg.
Even in Winnipeg, no doubt about it. All right, let's take our final break. We will continue to preview this game coming up. We have Gopher Football Weekly. We also want to remind you Friday night game this week, 7:00 kick. We'll take air at 5. Tickets available, gophersports.com. And don't forget, prior to the game, it's the Gopher Garden, the pregame fan fest presented by Huntington Bank. It's located on Oak Street outside the stadium. Gopher Garden opens 3 hours before every home game. You can catch JG and the pregame show at the stage there, the Pride of Minnesota Marching Band's pregame concert, and all the excitement leading up to kickoff. This is Gopher Football Weekly with PJ Fleck from Learfield.
Dear crew, it's Toyota. With an adult-sized third row, everyone's welcome in the Grand Highlander. From sports fans to eco-buffs and movie fans. Sink back in the Sienna with an available rear seat entertainment system. Slip into the RAV4 with available all-wheel drive. And let's go. Toyota. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
The game against Rutgers on September 27th recognized the 13th annual Celebrate Ag and Food Day at Huntington Bank Stadium. Both the game broadcast and the presentation inside the stadium celebrated the tireless efforts in the agriculture industry. The Gophers would like to thank the following participating sponsors: Ag Country Farm Credit, Minnesota Biofuels Association, Minnesota Corn Growers Association, Minnesota Pork Board, and the University of Minnesota's College of Food, Agricultural, and Natural Resource Sciences for their continued support.
Know what the happiest bird is? Chicken. Cub fried chicken. Wait, let me rephrase that. Know what bird makes people happiest? Cub fried chicken. Crispy, crunchy, juicy, perfectly seasoned. It's the kind of chicken that disappears faster than you can say, 8-piece, please. Or, let's be real, maybe 12-piece. Because when it comes to fried chicken, more just means more happy. So if you're shopping chicken, shop Cub fried chicken and shop happy.
Visit the University of Minnesota Bookstore, your destination for the area's largest selection of U of M and Golden Gopher apparel, gifts, and novelties for fans of all ages. From the latest styles to timeless favorites, it's your one-stop shop for all things Gophers. And when you shop here, you're giving back because every purchase directly supports the University of Minnesota. Stop by our campus location or shop anytime online at bookstores.umn.edu. Go Gophers!
Jared Wells, our on-site engineer, Michael Tackett, our in-studio producer, Paul Rovnak from Gopher Communications, Garrett Chernoff and Chandler Bunning from Gopher Football as they make it happen every week here for Gopher Football Weekly. Next week, again, back at the Tipsy Steer and High Pines, Mike Rimmon, Justin Guard, and PJ Fleck. You mentioned the quarterback has played well. It is pretty unique how much he does resemble not just the number, but Mahomes, isn't it? The way he walks, runs. Have you noticed in watching Phil?
Yeah, it is. It's unbelievable. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
I mean, he does. He looks just
crazy.
like him.
Like if he went out on Halloween, you'd think it was him.
Arm angles, mannerisms, the way he walks, his helmet off,
the way he scrambles.
The sunglasses going for a while.
Yeah,
the same Mahomes.
Well,
if you look like him, wouldn't you play it up too?
I might try to play it up.
I would do the same thing.
Exactly. No
if
doubt.
people mistook me for Patrick Mahomes, I'd be fine with that. I'd lean in.
You've had worse things happen to you than that.
I've been compared to like Phil Mickelson, so I'm taking handsome guy. Sure,
great calves.
Colt McCoy, unbelievable.
Yeah,
but
I get a young Phil Collins.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I got that at a restaurant.
Can you drum like Phil Collins?
No, not at all.
Speaking of which, you didn't get to see it, obviously, but how about the Red
PJ
Hot
was
Chili?
out there.
Yeah,
See him? He didn't talk to the team at halftime.
Yeah, he didn't know. It was you missed it, but it was pretty cool. Chad Smith with the Red Hot Chili Peppers jamming with the Pride of Minnesota marching band at halftime of that game. Which back to the game. 200 plus players lining that tunnel area and then out on the field near kickoff. How cool was that?
That was tremendous. That just says a lot about how far our program's come at connecting the past to the present and then obviously into the future with recruiting. But just so proud of our alumni for coming back. I mean, over 200 people coming back. I mean, first year we did that, we had close to 40. And now lining that tunnel. I mean, the homecoming's about the special moments and memories of coming back and reliving your experience and then hopefully having an amazing experience while you're there. And the team's job is to go win that football game. And Chad Smith coming back, I mean, he talked to our team on Friday before we got on the bus and head to the hotel.
What a cool customer, too.
And it's so great. He was awesome. And what a rock star.
Yeah, literally, right?
Literally. and it's so cool because we look at this generation, like, oh, they don't know who the Red Hot Chili Peppers are. When we kind of picked them to study as the band of the week, knowing that Chad Smith was going to be there on Friday, and they kind of fit us of what we were talking about that week. And all of our, I can't tell you how many players were so fired up that we picked Red Hot Chili Peppers and listening to all that music all week. They're singing it. They know it. It's like, it's timeless music. It's a timeless band. And maybe not the Grateful Dead, Garrett. You know, he's a big fan. But you talk about Chad coming back and being willing to do that. I mean, just so gracious that he spent time with us. He brought his whole family over there.
They had it mic'd up, the drum set out there. It sounded awesome. It really did. They played all those songs. Yeah, it's on video. Although the video, it's hard to get the great quality, but you can hear the drums. You'll have to. I'm sure you got plenty of time at some point this week to sit down and watch the concert. But it was good.
You also got to spend a little time around the 1960 guys, which I thought that was awesome, right?
So
just
good.
to have those guys. I mean, anytime Bobby Bell's back, everybody knows it, right? I mean, he's probably like the Gopher of all Gophers. But you spent some time with them, I think, before the game as well, or the day before, talking to them and just kind of visiting with them. What was that like?
Yeah, I spent time with them on Friday as well, and just getting around them. And shoot, Bobby Bell looks like he still could play, everybody. Like, he's got plays left in him. He does. And you talk about how much they all love being a Gopher. And what was so fun was they knew about our team. They knew about the players on the team. They knew about Coy. They knew about Kerry Brown. They know about Drake Lindsay. And that was awesome. Because they're not just back because of what they did. They're back to support the players on that field today. And that's what's really cool, is connecting the past to the present. What just a historic team that was, the legends that came from that team, but also just having them back, having them mix with our players was really, really special.
And so you figure, those guys played on the 1960 national title team, so they're roughly, 82, 83, 84, 85 years old. And then you've got guys like Ariante Ursary, who on the other side is just a little kid playing in the NFL as a starter, and Max Brosmer, local, right? They're at the game as well.
How cool is that, right? Yeah. And that's what homecoming's all about. And Ariante could be anywhere in the world, right? His bye week starting for the Texans and coming over here and spending time with our players. And he got a game ball at the end of the win. Nothing better than presenting a former player with a game ball for representing all the alum. We would have given it to Brosmer, but he's here all the time. And he already got one. He's always expecting that ball. He's always right there by the head coach, so he's ready. But we gave it to Ariante to represent the players.
I think it shows the mental acumen of Brosmer, which we all know, is that he's on the Vikings, made a 53, is basically a snap away, right? He had to take a snap in London. But I feel like he's like an assistant quarterbacks coach, too, for you guys, while he's also doing, and he's grabbing water for the other alums, like buying rounds, basically, at all the cups. I'm like, you buying rounds? He's like, yeah, we're good, but that's got to be cool that he's got his own career right now, but he's invested like in Drake specifically, but all you guys.
Yeah, I think that's what's so fun about living in a pro market and living in a pro city mixed with a Big Ten college city as well. The Vikings play, 2 miles across the river here. Their staff's really close to our staff. We know a lot of their players. Our players are really gracious to us. And Max is just the ultimate Gopher, even though he only spent 1 year here. The lessons he learned here, what he applies, he feels like this is his alma mater as well as New Hampshire, and comes back to support our team constantly and brings a lot of knowledge too. He's like talking to a coach, right? So the conversations you have with him about culture, about how maybe KOC did this, KOC did that, but also the X and O piece that he brings into Greg of what they're talking about. And he loves to be a solution-driven guy and find solutions. So he also wants to know what we're doing. But also be there as friends. His family is very close to us, Heather and I, and our family, but just to have him back, to have that presence of connection between somebody's future and their hope, dream, and aspiration, and connecting that into with our culture and program, that if you do X, Y, and Z here, you have a very bright future. And I think that's great for Drake to see as well.
You can tell he knows boundaries, though, 'cause I swear there's times where he wants to just be right in the little quarterback thing in the middle. It's like, no, you can't do that, Max. You got to go down there, because he's kind of walking. I'm like, he wants to stop. He wants to stop and talk to Drake right now, but you can't do that. You got to keep moving. You got to keep going. So it's good. He knows his place, but he doesn't overstep his
just
bounds.
Can't help himself.
Yeah.
He is a very charismatic, very involved, and very intelligent person / quarterback. And anytime you have somebody that competitive and you put him in a competitive environment, you put a coach on a sideline of a high school team.
Right.
I want to be out there too. Half the time I'm standing on the field in the back, making sure I can see if I'm what play I'm going to call. Right. Like, you want to be involved in that way, and that's that competitive nature in him, and that's what makes him such a great player.
Well, very good. It's Friday night football. Speaking of high school, it'll be just like high school football, right? A big Friday night here, 7:00, the kickoff. We take care at 5. Concession stand might not be $1 hot dog night, but it's still good. It's all good, and we will chat with you on Friday night. For Justin Gard and the head coach, PJ Fleck, I'm Mike Grimm. We'll chat Friday. This has been Gopher Football Weekly with PJ Fleck from Learfield.